What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Happy New Year, by the way. I hope you guys are doing okay. Now, a lot of you guys had questions with regards to the video that I did with Susanna, where I tested out the 120 frames on the Canon 90D. A lot of you guys were asking me what kind of lens I used, how I color graded it, how I made it look good in 4K when it was shot in 1080p. Now, today we are going to hop in Adobe Premiere. And I'm going to show you guys kind of the process that I go through to make the videos look the way that I want them to. But before that, alright guys, so the first thing I like to do when I am usually editing a video, and that is I'm upscaling it to 4K because the bitrate on 4K just is much higher and it looks a heck of a lot better when you upload it to YouTube. So I highly recommend doing that instead of uploading in 1080p if you're looking to upload to YouTube, because you know what, honestly, I've uploaded 1080p videos to YouTube and I think they're horrendous. So I usually upload in 4K. So now when you put a 1080p clip in a 4K sequence, it's going to be a little box like this. So you just right click and you're going to scale to frame size. We're going to do the same thing with this one, and bam. Honestly, it looks the same, but you're going to have a higher bitrate when you're rendering it. Now I shoot in cine style, and that is a much flatter profile, so you know, I'm giving it its life back essentially. But these clips, like, they look pretty good on their own. I would say they're a little underexposed. Now I shot all the clips I took that day were on the 50mm, and it was shot at f2.8. I used focus peaking because, well, if you guys have shot at f2.8, you know that's a super shallow depth of field. So yeah, I used focus peaking, and even I still had a bit of trouble. Now, usually what I like to do when I am doing a color grade is I will, what am I doing? I will drop in a adjustment layer. I will actually drop in 2 adjustment layers, and the top one being, we'll just rename this to look, because this will be like an overall look if you want to have like a cohesive cohesive look across your whole timeline. But I don't think I really used much of a, like, I didn't use any LUTs or anything like that. I just did a regular my regular adjustments. Now we'll just go into lumetri color here and make sure you're on the right layer here, that being the adjustment layer, and we are just going to go into basic correction, and we're going to bring up the exposure. I'm going to say 8. See, that's already a lot better. Now usually what I do is I like to go into the RGB curves, and I will just drop that down a bit and bring up the midtones ever so slightly. Kind of a little bit of a S curve in there, I guess you would call that, just to kind of bring back a bit of the liveliness. Now see, that already looks 1,000 times better, and I didn't even really do that much. It you know, it looks good right out of camera, and Susanna's just that awesome. So that's basically what I do when I am, see, yeah, look at that, that looks great. And honestly, looks exactly like how I had uploaded it. It doesn't look like I did that much really to it. Now, if we were gonna go a little bit more, I guess, eccentric, and like we want to like play around with the colors more, I would probably do some stuff in the Lumetri panel, maybe with like the tint and the saturation, and I'd be doing a lot of things in the HSL tab here. But I have actually a LUT that I created that I'm just going to slap on top. Now, we already made our adjustments here, so you can see there's a little bit of adjustments there. Now we're just going to go into this one. We're going to go into the Lumetri panel again. Where are we here? I need to get into creative. Yeah, creative right here. Now, see look. We're going to give it a look. And I made a LUT called TA Creamsicle. Now, this is my first ever LUT. So just click on this. And maybe this one. And bam! Look at that. Went from like that to like that. I know it's a little intense. The colors are crazy, but all you gotta do, come into the intensity here and just bring it down just ever so. Let's say it's 50% here. See how that looks. Now, I would probably think the blacks are a little dark here, so I would probably come into the adjustment layer and just, you know, make some adjustments in maybe the shadows here. The shadows just a bit. See here. Go in Lumetri. See the blacks are about here now. Bring this black. There we go. A little more detail in the shirt now. The shot is out of focus, as you can tell. There were shots where I was out of focus because I was shooting f2.8. But there you go, guys. That's basically how I use LUTs over top of the adjustments or the micro adjustments that I've made with this layer here. Now, you can even maybe just turn this off to see how that looks. But again, it looks better, I think, with the exposure up. Now, why did I call it Creamsicle? Well, it does introduce a lot more orangish colors, and it's got a very, it's like a creamsicle. It's orange, and then you got the whites, but I thought it was a cool name for my first LUT. Now, if you guys are interested in LUTs, I do plan on doing some more in the springtime, so maybe that's something I can offer in the future.
The sun is going down now. Been at it for a while, and I have had enough of this. I doubt that we can solve it. Been trying for so long, and I just can't ignore that it won't ever be the same. No, we will never be that good again.
Alright guys, there you have it. That is how I kind of go through the process of color grading. Personally, I don't think I'm the best color grader, but that's kind of like the process of how I like to do my color grades. I mean, in a year from now, that could change, and I could be doing other things, you know, to tweak maybe skin tones and you know, stuff like that. Because, you know, I'm always learning new tricks when it comes to using, you know, any sort of program. But that's pretty much it for today, guys. Oh, and stick around because I just grabbed a Sigma f2.8 17 to 50 millimeter constant. It's f2.8 constant throughout the whole zoom. I am super excited to use this. This is probably the nicest piece of glass I own next to my 55 to 250 millimeter. And we're going to be doing videos in the future with this, guys. We're going to do some like real world testing and stuff. So stick around. And as of always, stay awesome. And we will see you guys in the next one.